VEDA Day 26. Good morning, Internet citizens. Bill Corley here, and here joining me along my morning walk. It is pretty overcast and spitting rain this morning, as you can well, I don't know if you can really see that, but there it is. But not so bad as to not be out and about. You know, I really like these morning walks. I do them pretty much 7 days a week, unless it's so pouring down rain that I can't get out. Because, you know, my daily grind is sitting in front of an electron emitting, or a photon emitting screen rather, and typing away, and then talking at people and looking at a webcam. That's pretty much, you know, my 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, 6 days a week, and some night and weekend work as well. And I can tell you, if I didn't come out every morning and get a little walk in, there'd be times where I don't see the sun. That is the minus for working from home, right? I mean, the plus is you don't have to commute through traffic, and you don't have to do all these other things that are associated with working outside the home. But I think it's far too easy, and I've watched it happen, you know, that you can just sort of spend all your time in your home office, and then a week can go by and you won't have seen the outside world. So that's really what this is all about. And it's also an opportunity to mull through what's going on, you know, personally and at work, and do some thinking about things in solitude. Of course, this past month I've been doing a lot of talking about things rather than thinking about things. I think when this month is over, I'm going to continue doing these. I don't know that they will be at a frequency of every day anymore. When I started this out, I had a couple of primary purposes. One was just to do it and participate and see how it felt. The other thing was to get progressively more comfortable. The lighting still isn't good there. To get progressively more comfortable speaking at a camera and sort of doing this vlogging thing. I think that second thing has been accomplished. I'm beginning to figure out how to just stop talking when I'm not quite sure what I'm going to say next. See, now I'm sort of screwing that up, but my point was to say, what I have learned is I have learned how to pause rather than say and utter random grunts. So that's a good thing. Let's see. See, I think it works better when it's on this side, right? Because the camera lens is sort of on the right side of this of the smartphone, right? So, you know, the more off axis I am, the more it kind of doesn't look like I'm looking at you, which is of course the other thing that I'm trying to get done here. So I guess I'm pretty close to calling this mission accomplished, but I like the forum. I like the forum, and I like the opportunity to try to get some thoughts out. You know, waxing a little philosophic here, I think that there need to be alternative voices to, I guess, what I'm going to call the mainstream coward consensus. And what I mean by that is that anytime something happens out there in the world, the mainstream consensus seems to be, let us get down on our bellies to the state and beg the state to solve the problem or make whatever it is go away. I see this sort of attitude everywhere. People in the United States of America generally, you, my fellow countrymen, us, collectively and individually, seem to have a real problem taking the responsibility that sort of is inherent in the notion of being an adult human being. And by failing to take that personal responsibility, we abdicate it to armed gangs who then tell us what we're supposed to do supposedly for our own good. But these armed gangs, these armed bands of men, are repeatedly demonstrated to be completely incapable of doing the things that we, in our sort of naive, cowardly desire to not have to worry about these things ourselves, would like them to do. You know, I'll give you one example. I just saw a Facebook posting last night by a person who will remain nameless. It was a photo montage of a bunch of areas where, or a bunch of instances in which private companies have done some really awful things. You know, like the BP oil spill, things of that nature. And then the caption is, "See, companies can't regulate themselves." And it sort of leaves it there, with the implication being that we need a government role in the regulation of private business. And this is the sort of example of what I'm talking about. How about this? I agree that there need to be independently trustworthy groups that are looking at what companies do and are granting or refusing to grant certification to those companies' activities on the basis of their conformance to certain standards of quality and safety and health. I absolutely agree that that's a commodity, that's a service, it's a commodity that's valuable to know what the heck these companies are doing, okay? But the idea that, an organization whose primary distinguishing feature is it's allowed to kill and destroy and murder and maim people, that the ability to shoot first and ask questions later, which is really the only unique ability that a government organization has, that somehow makes them good at doing this watchdog function. I don't understand the logic, because every single one of the examples on this person's photo montage are not examples of unregulated industries. They're examples of incredibly regulated industries. Industries that are regulated up the yin-yang by the government, yet these failures occur. And they occur because the government can't regulate, because it's been entirely captured by the big businesses that it wants to regulate. How do you think the financial crisis happened, if not because there's a revolving door between the regulators and Wall Street? How do you think BP happened? There's a revolving door between the oil companies and the agencies that regulate them. Every single regulatory body in this country that's run by a government has been entirely captured by the largest and most influential players in that industry, who use that regulatory agency not to achieve the purpose for which it was founded, but to try to shut out competition by setting up the rules not so that they make us safer or healthier and more environmentally friendly, but to ensconce into law the high cost practices that the largest players have in order to keep out mischievous upstarts who could do things better, faster, cheaper, or whatever. You might say, how would it work then? Well, this is an example where I don't even have to wonder. There's actual examples of things that aren't regulated by the government. For example, this device that I'm holding right now has to be listed. Underwriters Laboratory lists it, right? The UL rating on every sort of electrical device that exists. UL, the Underwriters Laboratory, private company. And you know what? I trust it a lot more to tell me the electrical device I'm purchasing is safe than I would the, United States Agency of Electrical Safety, who would probably be electrocuting people every now and then. So it is kind of crazy, I must say. Gotta love that, right? So, and another example, more near and dear even, is Consumer Reports. So Consumer Reports, I subscribe to them. They have a wonderful online website that gives you their down and dirty ratings on thousands and thousands of consumer products, from cars to can openers. And you know what? They don't take advertising. It's all subscription run, because their point of view is, well, how on earth could you have an independent agency that's being funded by the people they're rating? Which is exactly how most government regulatory agencies are funded, right? They receive part of their funding from Congress, and they receive another part of their funding as user fees from the people that they're regulating. So at any rate, that's my view, is that everything from the Ponzi scheme of Bernie Madoff to the travesty of what happened at MF Global, the financial crisis in general, the BP oil spill, all of these things happen on the watch of government employees being regulators. And so clearly they've failed. Now, you know, the coward America response to government failure is, well, if giving them $100 billion to do a task generates complete failure, let's give them $200 billion and take away some more of people's freedoms, because that will surely work this time. What I'm saying is, man up, America, man up. We have to solve the problems in society. If you don't believe that the solutions to social problems can be achieved by killing people and putting them in cages, if you don't think that killing people and putting them into cages is a solution to a particular social problem, then you ought not to want government to be involved in that solution. Because the only thing they can really do that you and I can't do ourselves is kill people and put them into cages. And I want you to think about that. I know that's a controversial statement, so if you like any of the things I'm doing, hit the subscribe button or leave a comment. Leave a comment in the YouTube below, you know? Watch this on YouTube, leave a comment, tell me what else you'd like to hear about, tell me I'm full of crap, whatever it is. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day and be kind to one another. Bye now.